Alright. I know this is supposed to be like a while ago, but at least we are guaranteeing this thing come out while we're in the middle of like an intermission. Um, oh, I am sorry about this, by the way. Like a bug bit me and it swelled, so I had to like avoid it, you know. Anyways, basically, this is the newer set of the remakes. Season one was turned into the first two episodes because the first two episodes had a bigger script than this is gonna be. And then it was season one, the remaining episodes, and then season two. Trying to think of some like major changes. Um, Copycat never existed. I hate that episode. Useless episode. Well, like they still have Theo exist, and like the whole statue still happens, but like the joke from Marigold, the Marigold comic still exists, where it's just like, no, no, you can't like someone that is like unless they show off that it's someone in the school. No. Um, but let's see. I'm trying to think of other things. My biggest thing is trying at the beginning was like making you care about Adrian without knowing that it was Adrian. Developing most of the characters on their own, like isolate them, kind of give their own like time. Um, and then I think season one ended. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. The alternate timeline. Okay, it's been a minute. Um, Jeez, man. It's been a minute. Jeez. Um, Trying to find it. I mean, oh yeah. Um, so season one and two is the first year of Miraculous. There we see Adrian's 15th birthday. Marinette's, which we're about to see here with Buffang in the beginning, is like kind of skipped very quickly. So she's 15. They're by U.S. standards, ninth grade, which is freshman year. Um, and then like season two is kind of introducing the heroes, kind of getting into the slight emotions. Um, and then like the Heroes Day is their anniversary and like the start of sophomore year. Um, a big thing I wanted to kind of hit home with this is that Shat has not confessed his feelings. He will by the end of this season. Well, they are known, um, but like he actually explored if he cared before he like went after her. Marinette has a crush. She kind of recognizes it, but yet, unlike the main continuity one, she isn't like a bumbling idiot. Like she, of course, has like embarrassment and stuff around her crush, but it's also kind of like she doesn't creep on him, and like him is not a barrier with other things. It does not make like yes, her jealousy and all that does affect some of her choices, but it does not make her character as bad as it was in the main show. I really wanted to hit home that Ladybug and Chat Noir are while they're the same, two sides of the same coin, they're on their own side for a reason, because it's like Ladybug has her abilities, Shat has his abilities, while Mari is very good about like using her knowledge and like more flexible and has a lot more like planning. Adrian is technically the more intelligent one, but he's also the most combat savvy. Um, and that's like my biggest one I wanted to hit home is just like Shat is thrown in the back. He used to be um, the co-star, but he's been thrown to the wayside by Thomas Asterisk because he really wanted to hit home the girl side of things. I'm trying to think what else. At the end of season 2, the Bee Miraculous was cracked in the falling after Hawkmoth's giant moth monster knocks them back. And when they land, the bee is cracked. Luckily, it doesn't do anything to Chloe. But basically, Fu's whole arc in season 3 will be trying to repair the Bee Miraculous. This way, it gives a reasoning for them to know what it is. And kind of like on top of like the potions and stuff, kind of like translating it. Trying to think of any other ones that I want to remember before we start. Lila's more of a background character. She's not so forward. Like there are, of course, her first episode. Volpina is a major part, but for the most part, she's a planner. She's like the behind the scenes villain. But I'm trying to think of other things, but I'm like trying to construct a lot of these episodes in a better situation. Past, I think episode 1, we're not gonna have any more like this is the date, this is the time. I mean, of course, I'm gonna have to like figure out what I'm gonna do about when we're beating Hawkmoth in terms of time. Because I think, based on what I'm thinking, I kind of want to put them up like in the summer, going into their junior year. That way, technically, it only takes 2-ish years to beat Hawkmoth. But I feel like having them like in their last year, kind of like figuring everything out, and then a new Hawkmoth is situated. That way, they're going into their adult life with the new Hawkmoth. I think that's kind of what I want to do. That way, it's kind of like we have everybody built to who they are, and have a stronger personality by the time, and it explains because time has passed. Because it's like, it's ridiculous that the few seasons we have are within a year. Well, yes, like hit 'em is understandable, but like, no. Not to mention, it would be a lot worse than it would be very early on. But let's just get into this. I think that's it. But let's just kind of get into it. So basically, our heroes have their own stuff. They have a reason to be there. Shat is trying to get the courage to say something, while Marinette has the crush, but she won't do anything about it. But there's also no like disability based on her having a crush. Anyways, let's get into this with episode 1. Bafane, or Bafana, I don't know how you say it. But September 20th, I don't know. Last time I remembered, it was like October 13th was Adrian's birthday. and hers is September 20th. This is based on like an image that was taken from a book, apparently. So that's where I'm taking it from. Um, and because 15th birthday of Adrian's was in season one, I wanted her. Of course, it's gonna be 16 this time, the Sweet 16. So everyone's like going out, but following Heroes Day, Mari is like starting to like investigate with Fu on how like Hawkmoth powered up, and is starting to learn more about the peacock, because it's like the peacock was off the table, but now we know that Hawkmoth is in possession of it. Now we gotta have to like understand what the peacock can do. Um, a shocking point we learn from Fu is that after the giant hornet like gusted him away, the Be Miraculous took an impact, making it crack, like I said. Um, and it will take the rest of the season to have it repaired. Marty is anxiety ridden to a point where this whole day is like, let's see here. Um, this sets her up to have like a bad mindset for the party, um, and especially for her newly introduced grandma, who has been exploring the globe, is why she's not around. But getting her thinking Mari doesn't like to spend time with her, because she's so like, what is Hawkmoth going to attack now that like we just had a major thing. We just lost a hero, a possible hero in the future. Um, but that's kind of about it. Because it's like normal for the rest of the episode. Um, of course, the teaser would be Tom is kind of like hoping that his father was there to celebrate. That way, the entire family would be there. Going into episode 2, Baker X, we meet Tom's father, who was divorced thanks to his closed mindset. Um, he's not very explorative. Uh, I don't know if that's a word. I just made that up on the spot. Um, but like, Mari's grandma is like very, let's go do this, let's go do that. She's very, I want to adventure before my time comes. Where like, he's very, I'm okay with where I'm at, and I don't really want a lot of things to change. And that's kind of why they got divorced. Um, he hasn't talked to Tom since him and Bean's wedding, due to a disagreement on how they were going to run the bakery, and they were modifying the family recipe. Um, and similar to how he's like closed minded, it's like traditional. And in the end, he does accept changes, and it's like basically his entire life was not accepting any changes whatsoever, which of course threw people he cared about to the wayside, including his relationship with his wife. He lost any time with his son, and now he has only almost a fully grown granddaughter he knows nothing about. Um, so he wants more time with him. The teaser for the next episode is that Adrian and Plague are holding a conversation after a funeral, um, and we learn that Adrian's uncle has passed away. His aunt and cousin will be coming to visit them, to kind of like have some time away from home as they like situate themselves so that they can like get away from the house and kind of figure out what they're gonna do, to kind of grieve and kind of move on now that he's gone. Um, this, of course, is episode 3, Felix. We meet Adrian's aunt, Amelie, which is the identical twin to his mother, Emily. and her son Felix, um, who takes up the PV design. This is, but he's a lot more of an uptight Adrian, basically. We quickly understand some of Felix's characteristics, especially him and his father not having a very great relationship. And he can pull off Adrian very good, but the issue is if it's anyone like Nino, Alia, Mari, or Kagami, he's going to be found out. But he knows the basis of it and can like pull it off pretty good. Um, we also learn he's a mommy's boy. Amelie is shown that she has an understanding of what Felix is up to, revealing that Felix's whole mission this episode was to steal a ring, which the ring is of the oh, what is it? Oh, I didn't write down their name, but the two rings that Gabriel and Emily were married with is Emily and Amelie's family's like generational bands. And they come to claim them because there's no longer an Emily, so there's no reason to have them hold the rings. Um, so Felix is trying to get this back. There's a little bit higher of a reason hinted at, but at the end of the day, she knew that he was doing it the entire time, praises him for getting it back, and leaves it to him because it's his um, to like inherit in the end. Um, let's see here. And of course, Adrian does start noticing that he's bubbled up his emotions after so long, and him confronting Felix um, kind of shows that he's taking notice that it was like, my emotions were unchecked here. What's happening? The teaser for the next episode is an older woman takes Mr. Remier, the Mr. Pigeon fellow, to a rooftop full of birds, of cages, to allow him to take care of the pigeons without having the law get involved. And she reveals that she's in Paris to meet Fu. In episode 4, Backwarder, we meet Mary Ann. She's Master Fu's love interest from when he was in his youth. Um, he had to leave her after a group were hunting Fu for the miraculous. I really kind of wanted to hint that we just recently, in the more recent episodes, there's a high society that's kind of like in the background that's trying to get the miraculous to kind of like change the world in their favor. I'd like it to be hinted at that this is like something that's been going on for generations, and Fu has faced them even back then. And it's kind of like this is the bigger evil hinted at in this early. Um, After her acclimatization, Marianne's, Fu suggests that she get out of town to get out of Hawkmoth's range, but he still wants to see her, so like keep close by so we can meet up. The teaser for the next episode is that Max is warned to bring his robot. Max is told to keep his robot friend out of school. And going into episode 5, Roboticus. This primarily is to show that their victims can turn on Hawkmoth if they have a strong enough will. The next teaser is to kind of show. I mean, Roboticus also kind of show that it doesn't have to be human to be a victim. But the next episode teaser is a Miraculous movie is announced by both Nathan and Mark. So because like it's a big thing, their stories they started that I think it was Reverser or Eve Illustrator. It was one of the two where they meet up and start making the story. Um, it would be very quick for someone like the money, like people follow the money. So it's just like the fact that there's talented writers and artists that are willing to make such a good story, there would have been a studio to pick them up immediately. And since all the material's there, it's just like we just need to put this on the screen. Um, anyways, um, episode 6, Animastro, instead of being in Thomas Astruct, um, lame stand-in for himself, I'd have Nathan be Animastro because, well, Mark is the artist. Well, no, Mark is the script writer, so of course he's gonna be praised. But because Nate is seen as one in like millions of people who can just draw, he isn't given as much credit, and people keep putting him down throughout the entire event. Similar how Ostruct, his character was, um, but I think putting the nail in the coffin with the whole passion fruit situation, where Mari ignores him, because she's on a mission to kind of like find Adrian, and this is one of the few times that like her goal is to kind of like do so. Um, but of course, she does get caught by Chloe. But because Chloe is in kind of like, I need to hold off on being mean because I kind of wanted to be a better person for Shat and LB. So she doesn't say anything because she really wants to be the Be Miraculous character, Be Miraculous holder again. Um, oh, and then I would say she does know that the bee is cracked. Because Ladybug would be open with her, like, hey, we are working on getting it repaired. So you will be benched even if we need you until further notice. Um, the teachers for the next episode would be Gabe being inspired by the movie. When he sees the mime, he gets an idea to bring back a lot of the older villains, which starts with episode 7, Stormy Weather 2, which I'm going to go ahead and say the calm during the storm. Stormy was one of the most powerfulest victims to this point. Her potential hasn't shown due to being like early days for our heroes. And she was locked into her goal set for most of the episodes. So her like actually trying to fight the heroes wasn't her main priority. Um, but that kind of starts off our whole like arc of returning to people. Next would be Max. So alongside Nate and Mark, he was trying to release a game to coincide with the movie that they were releasing. So he was working on that game, which would go into Gamer 2.0. Um, and wanting like game testers, no one has time between Roboticus and Gamer 1. Gabe has the idea that Max would be smart enough to beat the heroes, because it's just like Roboticus is the first thing to turn against him, and the person who created it was him, and then Gamer 1 was one of the few times that one of two heroes fell. So it's kind of like this is one of the bigger reasons. Of course, teasing an opening of a wax museum with Adrian going into one. He's going in to get one made of him. Him along with his other celebrities would be on. Okay, so the wax. I had bad like writing here. Basically, the wax museum is opening Adrian is coming in to get the wax figure made of him, and basically the big selling point is that him and several other celebrities have had wax figures made of them. That way, people come in to check it out. Um, Going into episode 9, Puppeteer 2, which, like Gamer 2.0, I kept because it sounds cool. And like I changed Stormy Weather 2 to the no calm. Oh, it was no calm during the storm. Is what I didn't say the calm. It was no calm during the storm. I changed this one to more than puppets, with more realism of the wax statues. Gabe thinks that the puppeteer would work a lot better than before, because it's kind of like before it was just puppets. As long as they kept the puppets away, they were fine. But this is like, it's basically kind of like the copycat idea, where it's just like, hey, you think this is somebody else, so you're not gonna suspect that it's something coming after you. Um, the next teaser would go into we jump to the heroes face to face, powering down, confused at one another. Um, so it's like not like surprised that they saw each other. It's just kind of like a basically it's the who are you face, because it's episode 10, Oblivio. Alia and Nino's relationship is at a point where they are fully comfortable with each other. This also shows that Mari and Adrian are in amazing. So during the whole episode, basically this is kind of a test of how well can Adrian and Marinette get like deal with one another. Not kind of just like they would be amazing for each other, ship them. No, it just this shows that they, just as a base level, can get along so amazingly, either as friends or more. There are hinted points that both of them have a higher interest in one another. And I think I don't think I would like the kiss is amazing for fanfare, but I think them respectively like hugging at the end of the episode is pretty cool. Basically, it also shows that like they could be at this point if there was no like emotional imbalance. Um, we do tease that Lila has been on the background of most episodes, but this time she's front and center, telling lies about Mari, and it turns out to be to Kagami. So I think at this point, the only time Kagami has met Marinette was Marinette met Kagami and Marinette only met, I believe, in her introductory episode. I'm trying to remember what that was. Not this is episode 11 is Onin Chan. What is that episode? Okay, that's episode, that's season. Well, no, there's it's Pixelator. Repost. Okay, repost. Um. Anyway, this episode shows how much power Lila's lies have, and finally shows more of Kagami's personality, and it shows that it shows her weak side, with all her walls down. So basically, this is kind of like a character inspection for Kagami, and also kind of shows that Lila's lies are going pretty far and pretty deep, and it kind of it makes the audience question at this point: how many lies have been getting spiraled, and how deep are they? Are they deep roots, and how far do those roots go? The teaser would be Luca and Co are making music online. And then it kind of spaces out to XY, the son of the producer for Jagged. He sees it and kind of wants to kind of like make it his own by doing the remix. Um, Episode 12, Silencer. Um, it shows more of the corrupted mindset from XY and his crooked producer of a father. However, similar to Kagami, I wanted Luca to have more emotional stakes here. His like open moments and put his feelings toward Mari out in the open. Um, he does feel bad at the end because he didn't want to give her already full plate like extra toppings. So Luca, Mari does like not confront him, but be like, "It's okay. I just don't know what to do about it." Is what basically Mari is kind of at. And then of course Luca understands that she's also going after Adrian as well, so he's taking a step back. His emotions are out there. That way he's not completely like constricted. Um, the teaser would be Lila is shown through like a compilation of like her dropping little lies about Mari to everyone at school throughout seasons 2 and 3. And she's ready to launch a pretty big plan going into episode 13, which was normally Ladybug, but I kind of wanted to make it No Truth or Justice. Lila played her cards right with everyone at the school. After blaming Mari for cheating, stealing, and bullying, um, the class is kind of shattered into groups. Like, of course, Adrian, Nino, and Alia are gonna have her back, but they can't really do anything. And they believe she's innocent, of course. But Rose, Julika, Ivan, and Maylene, because they're kind of like the shy groups that have like they want to see the best in people. They're confused. They're kind of in the gray area. But literally everybody else, Lila has appeased to their interest, and of course, Mari has also been like she's been more selfish and self-contained. So it's kind of like they can kind of see her doing it. Versus Lila, who's this amazing, outgoing person. And not, like I said, she's in the background, like putting small stuff to flavor it up. That way, it's like, oh, so all of this accumulated in like the lava, the volcano has finally erupted, is what a lot of the other people are seeing. Of course, they feel betrayed because this is someone they saw as a friend. Let's see here. Natalie returns as Mayora to make the Senti monster Ladybug Sentibug. Adrian, in the end, does get Lila to fess up. Well, not fess up, but make another lie by using a medication from her mother to basically fake an illness that, like, her memory's not very good. So she thinks she's putting her necklace in her locker, but it's actually marionettes. So when she finally starts to like think that her fake illness is like, where's my necklace at? And then she sees it in Mari's locker, and of course she thinks that she stole it. And then in the illness set of mind, it's like she trips, falls down the stairs, but she thinks Mari, because they're near each other, got pushed. And that's how Mari is brought back. I think the principal, being smart, would probably start installing cameras and stuff to kind of avoid a situation like this in the future, especially someone I see as a promising student. And I think the only way you can kind of get away with Mari cheating would just kind of be, maybe you would probably set it up as um, their stuff, or like the supplies that they needed one day had the test sheets very near, so maybe they think like her packing up her stuff in a quick thing would accidentally keep the answers with her. That's the only way I can kind of say get away with that, because it's like I don't think they actually explain it in the episode on how they don't get Marinette for cheating still. Um, let's see here. Oh, the teaser for the next episode would be Alex's father gets a statue that's connected to the Miraculous in his museum. Episode 14 is Feast. The statue turns out to be a sentient monster created by Fu when he was a young lad. Um, he's in the middle of training to be a guardian, but he does get hangry as it is, not angry. He gets hungry but hangry, and he makes the sentient monster to go get him food, but because he is hangry, it ends up taking his like anger of the Miraculous and goes and just starts eating all the Miraculous and taking in the Guardians and stuff. Um, let's see here. The monster ate all the other Miraculous, the Guardians, and he learns even without the Miraculous. So in the middle of the episode, he sees the heroes without the Miraculous, sees that they're still good-willed and that they're still willing to go with it. But because Fu's on the streets doing this, he does get like Hawkmoth knows he's in the area now. And he puts a target on his back, basically. Of course, I didn't write this down, but of course the Guardians do return. This meaning Fu can eventually work his way up to it, but this is more to tease that the Guardians can come into the story now. Of course, the teaser is a future Shat and Ladybug. We kind of see just like a little bit of their design. They fail to catch a hero, a victim, before it goes back in time. And this goes into episode 15, Time Tagger. This episode is to introduce Alex as the future bunny holder. And there's no other, and they kind of also hint that there is another butterfly holder after Hawkmoth. But this isn't revealed to the heroes. This is revealed to Hawkmoth himself, like in the normal episode. Moving on, the teaser for the next episode will be Jagged throwing out his backup. I think it's like instrumental. Desperada, Luca gets the Snake Miraculous. Mari learns that just because she has emotional interest with someone, she can't keep choosing them to be the holder. She actually needs to worry about how good of a holder they're going to be and how good with the power they can kind of coincide. Will be tangent with one another. No. Similar. How good they can go together. The teaser for the next episode would be before I move on, Adrian does not have that crap snake set. It would be like the open top with his hair with like highlights similar to Luca. The teaser would be Max's mother is driving the first ever train to go underwater, and also has like bullet train capabilities. And I didn't write this down, but of course she's still going for her job to go and to be an astronaut. And that's the whole reason why episode 17 is Star Train. Max gets the horse holder, becomes the Max. Max becomes the Max holder. He becomes the horse holder, and that's it. Literally, we just meet his mom He becomes the holder, the horse. The tease is that a fan of Adrian's who we saw in Godzilla, um, he wins a competition to hang out with Adrian, but this is a whole plan from Gabe again, and this is to kind of akumatize the fan, and he denies him this because he didn't give full consent. Um, Episode 18, Party Crasher. Um, Adrian gets a boys' night like he's supposed to with the entire neighborhood, including Fu. Um, and Kim gets the Monkey Miraculous. Um, the teaser is that Kagami is at her wits' end with her mom's like constrictive rules um, and her controlling behavior, and we're going into Irie Gozen. Aside from Kagami getting the dragon, um, she does not reveal her identity like she does in the episode. I don't think they actually come back to that point. They just forget that she did that. Um, but Mari and Kagami become closer. Kagami does take notice of Mari's crush on Adrian, and during the competition, Tomo is revealed to be basically just bonding between Mari and Kagami. Tomo, the mother of Kagami, has contact with Gabe, which makes you think she might be in with Hawkmoth. The teaser is Julika is worried about like her dream to become a model, which kind of starts up the whole episode 20 reflect doll. Mari is more considerate of Julika. Like I said, she's not so crush crazy. Like yes, a lot of her decisions, some of her decisions can be changed. But for this example, it's just like it's most of her friends trying to push her with the crush rather than the other situation where Mari's like, "You're beautiful, Julika, get in there." Well, I don't want you by my man's. I'd rather you be able to follow your dreams and show off a little bit. Um, and I think I forgot to mention in my notes is I think after this, Mari would kind of give or like a unofficial assigning Julika Bolt being her model. That way she gets more shown off a little bit more. Um, Of course, Shat and Ladybug do switch to the Miraculous like in the original, but I think aside from like the starting off difficulty, I think having Lady Noir and Bugaboy kind of do their own way of how they would use the Miraculous, because of course they've been at this for a while. They have an understanding of how the powers would work. I think they would quickly pick it up based on who they are. Um, but definitely, I think they would use it in other methods versus what the other would normally do it. Um, of course, Lady Noir is not the same as Chat Noir because she doesn't know all the fighting techniques and stuff. So she's got to kind of lean more on her pull and her more flexible style. The teaser to the next episode is during a Mari Shot game night. I forgot to mention this in the previous thing. After Eve Illustrator, Mari and Shat do hang out. But during one of their game nights, Tom does catch them. And this kind of goes into episode 21, Where Dad, where basically Tom is the main concern of why it gets to the point, but I think just not giving them a chance to explain and him set up a whole story in his head, um, is a lot better. Of course, there's no cringe start to it where like Mari's caught with the baby and Chat Noir on her balcony. Tom doesn't give them the time to explain, and then after the fight, Tom and Sabine um, get told by Chat Noir what he's been doing, and they require him to go through the front door. Of course, there's gonna be a curfew, and then of course, like try to come in for dinner so that they get to know him a little bit. They have to, of course, do the whole thing. Let's see here. Of course, going into the teaser for, I think it's going to be a very quick explanation, is Miss Mendeleev. She sees Plag take her cheese. In episode 22 is Kwame Buster. We do the dual use of the Miraculous. Fu gets after Plag for letting him get spotted and get away from his user. Shat has been has asked Ladybug to make Mari a holder. So because of that Mari Shat friendship, he wants like Mari's very well known in the area, of course. So Ladybug doesn't not know her even if it's a stranger. He's kind of pushing for her to be a holder, if possible. And with the whole multi-mouse situation and revealing her identity, it makes it to where Shat can calm down on getting of asking. But of course, if she gets caught, she can always kind of pull the mouse and show off that it's her. The teaser would be Andre's ice cream with many couples around. This going into episode 23. Glaciator, Tom and Sabine went into Andre's for their engagement. Mari is starting to feel lonely with everyone else around her, kind of getting into a relationship. In her like hero life is making it feel complicated, stressful that she can't find anyone or pursue anyone. Of course, here's where I don't like the main continuity, and I'm gonna put this in, is the fact that she has space for Luke in her heart. She has space for Shat, and she does have an interest there, just not as strong as the other two. And since he's a complete stranger in terms of like personal, he will be the last on the list. But he is a consideration for dating. Shat sets up the whole reveal his feelings through a grand gesture, but because of her like depression and sadness, Shat shows Mari because they're friends. She doesn't know what to say when they eventually meet up for the fight, and she's kind of like, he does have like a love for me. I don't know what to do. And at the end, Shat is not salty, by the way. I don't like Shat being salty. I understand Adrian does not have control of his emotions, but like, come on, man. You watched anime. You gotta understand. But he's more depressed than anything during the fight. And Ladybug takes notice of this. But because of all this and like this new stuff, she finally makes a list. And it's basically Adrian, Luca, Chat Noir. She wants to be in a relationship. She's got all these people on the chessboard. She wants to give them a chance. It goes into episode 14, which aside from episode 24, episode 24, Chat Blanc, aside from Mari being more motivated to actually go and ask Adrian out, it's the same. However, it kind of gives her life her single life more of a helpful sense, or just like, so because Shat got eventually got with me, um, it ended up in him being akumatized. Um, so she is confused that why does it connect with me revealing to Adrian, but I think it's because it's kind of like she would kind of like make up a whole situation in her head, thinking that because she gets into a semi relationship with Adrian, it shows Cat Noir going bad and then feeling emotional, and she feels bad for him, gets in it with him, um, since she's the only one who would understand. Um, so making her own logic of why Adrian and Shat's akumatization is connected in some way. Um, the show does multiple ways. You can't say it can happen. The tease is that Chloe's parents are celebrating their 20th anniversary, and Fu finally is able to fix the Be Miraculous. Um, in episode 25, Heart Hunter, um, normal run of the things, but I really want more time with the Adrian, Mari, and Kagami situation. That is such a fun, nice little time. Um, I think this would be best to kind of show Mari that she can't be like sitting around hoping like something happens or something is clear to her. So I think this is kind of the best time to kind of like her to walk away. Kagami is her. She knows Kagami now thanks to Irie Gozen, so she's kind of like, I'll leave Adrian to Kagami, um, because they are in such a good situation to understand one another. Um, like, yes, she has said herself, but she's got this list. And she'd rather have two people that are at least decently good together can go on their own path. Um, Hawkmoth hits Chloe in a very big lie. So in the original, it's kind of just like, here's your miraculous, come join us on the evil side. Um, which, yes, Chloe is understandable, gonna do that once she gets the miraculous. But I think her giving a chance to even try to be good, I think what it is finally Hawkmoth would be like, hey, you know your bead miraculous has been repaired for a good amount of time. I'm returning it to you. Unlike the poorly planned ladybug. And basically he put in poison between their relationship. Um, and I think that would be best to explain why she would turn tail. Um, basically, she's been lied to. She'll feel betrayed, and because we already know her family relationship is pretty like weird and like stressful for her, um, I think that having another person she cares about betray her would be the turning point. Um, instead of just some person showing up with what she wants. Um, that way, she's at the very early stages of redemption, but because Hawkmoth sees it and like already knows what to do, there you go. And of course, I think the ending would be having the Wasp go around, have Miraculous Queen be revealed, and have all the heroes' identities revealed on top of have them turn into um, venomed heroes. Um, episode 26, Miraculous Queen, we return to the classic duo feel, the vibes. But I think this would be best to show that Shat and LB are just on a different level than the like amateurness that all the others have. The others are mostly brainwashed, so even with like Kagami's more heightened um, combat and all that, even though she doesn't have her miraculous like the original, um, I think it would show that anyone with just powers can't just beat these two. These two are experienced fighters. Um, and then, of course, Mari would still be a guardian. And Fu loses his memory. Marianne comes in to take him in. Um, Mari leaves Adrian to Kagami like in episode 25. Um, but she, taking the information from Shat Blanc, she goes and confronts Shat, saying that Mari has told her about his grand gesture. And basically is like, instead of telling him the truth about the akumatization, she kind of lays it out that they don't know each other. Yes, they care about one another. They have each other's backs. They can trust one another. And they are good partners. And they understand each other on a deeper connection in a different way than others do. But the thing is, they cannot learn anything about one another until Hawkmoth is dealt with. That way, their identities can't be used. And that is something that kind of puts Adrian into a full understanding of, okay, this is a long-term thing that if I want, I have to literally say no dating, no continuation, and I have to just drop it. But at least she knows of him, so now that he doesn't have to dance around it. But I think having the idea that Ladybug is still at least thinking about him in that way. But of course, Ladybug presents that they do at least need to try to get into their own love lives, so they need to open themselves to other paths. And this, of course, ends it with the Adrian X Kagami and the Luca X Marionette. But I think to make the early parts of season 4, because I'm going to do what they did and just rip the Band-Aid off and get rid of them, because I think very quickly their hero lives are going to catch up with them, and that would make it very understandable very quickly. Hey, my life is a mess, and I just can't do it right now. But I think having them have a conversation with their partners, being basically like, this cannot be official, and I can't promise you my emotions because I have an entanglement of other people in mind. But of course, they are like, we still care about you. We want to continue in experience and at least try something with you, basically to explore what could happen. That way, they're open with one another. Communication is key, folks. Even though that was an hour, it had to be done. But I think this is a pretty good write. I think I rewrote this so much better than what I used to. I think me as a writer, I know I should try to at least expand some of these episodes, but else than kind of throwing in a small character development between our main characters, what was I going to do with Star Train? It was just to kind of show off a new member of of our main cast family, and to kind of set up another holder. But definitely, I know season 4, I think, ends with Risk, I think it was. And then season 5 is the whole getting everything back. So I think we only have 2 more seasons with Hawkmoth. So I think really getting into either early June New Year would be understandable, but I don't think it should go that far. I think we should still finish up I'm trying to think. I think season 6 would be a good little time jump in between 5 and 6, where they have at least a few months in between to kind of fan out things. So I think I'm going to say that season 3 kind of takes place within the fall period of time, while season 4 will be more of like the winter section, while we're in the spring section for season 5. That way, summer, it'll be tapped upon, um, but I think having them come back to a junior year is a lot more. The only one thing at the top of my head I know is going to be hard for me to kind of like explore is there's one episode where like all the characters in the class take a career test, or like, hey, what's your future looking like? That one I feel like it's pretty early for a sophomore. I mean, like, unless you have a career center that you can take early education to kind of get out those early years and get certifications and stuff, that would explain things. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, though, because that's a big part of setting things up. We know what a lot of these people want to be at this point, but it's kind of like setting up that kind of scene where it's just like, all right, kids, your career's going to start here in 2 years. It's kind of a weird setup. But I think definitely having that situation where it's the downfall of Lila is something that really needs to be shown. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But anyways, my voice is shot, and I really need to go take a nap. And I got to go wake somebody up. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Season 4, a year. No, I'm going to try to get it here in the next month, since we're trying to get out more content starting February. But I definitely want to knock out other stuff first. I'll be working on it in the background. I'm currently working at something where I can work things out a little bit better. So definitely you can see probably end of February to some point in March. No matter what, it's going to be very soon. And then I think probably I can say I can get season 5 within a week or two of that. Because it'll be a conclusion of that saga. Hell, I can probably get it done within the same video, seasons 4 and 5, because it's a very good, easy to make graphic chart. I may not even do it episode by episode, to kind of save us and kind of get rid of this formulative, here's a sentence or two, and then here's the teaser for the next episode. You're probably sick of it. I mean, I'll probably do like an end section where I kind of explain the details of what it would be. But definitely just kind of running through a season or both seasons would be a good idea. So basically, I kind of want to just sum up what a season would be and what the actions of our heroes would be. But season 4 and 5, like I said, it's basically a part 1, part 2. And then the specials. These specials I gotta fit in. Those are gonna be fun to fit into the timeline. Especially New York. New York's a weird one. Because it's like a weird like a weird understanding of where he's at with Ladybug. But alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.